Great. Recording.
Okay. So, thank you very much for popping along and seeing us tonight. Basically, I met Rebecca at the allergy show last summer, and she was wielding her peppermint and orange essential oils, and I was feeling particularly weary at the time and was very open to any suggestion of anything that might actually perk me up, because I think it was probably day 3 and I was flagging on my stand. and anyway, this lovely saviour came along with these oils and dropped them in my hand and told me to smell them, and really just the experience was amazing, and it really kind of perked me up. And I'd had some experience of essential oils before, the sort of general things, tea tree for spots and lavender for relaxing and that kind of thing, but I had never really looked into it beyond that. So anyway, meeting Rebecca and chatting with her, and we obviously kind of got on, and we were talking quite a while about essential oils, and I just got really interested in the whole thing. So I did quite sort of went off and did a fair bit of research, and started trying out different oils for different things that I hadn't done before. And one of the big things that I have a lot of is headaches, and I just find that, I was finding that I was taking a lot of painkillers, and paracetamol and ibuprofen and things like that really were not doing anything at all, and I was resorting to taking paracetamol and codeine, and I don't really want to be taking that kind of strength of tablet, and it was probably a good once a month or once every couple of months, so it was fairly frequently, and for maybe a couple of days, just to really knock it on the head. So I did a bit of research about what I could use, and came across peppermint and thought, right, I'm going to give peppermint a go, and rubbed it on my temples the next time I had a headache. And amazingly, I was sort of thinking, well, I can't really believe that it will get rid of my headaches because they're really bad, and it did. So that was kind of a bit of a turning point for me in terms of, okay, so there really is something in this.
Sorry, that was me.
Hand up. And then I sort of thought, okay, this is quite interesting. My son and my daughter were suffering at the time with molluscum contagiosa, which is like a viral infection, which is kind of almost like warts, but they're like pretty much all over the body. Luckily not on their face, but it was quite a lot widespread. And we've been to the doctor, and the doctor said, there's nothing we can do. It could take 2 years to get rid of it. And it was, uncomfortable and getting rubbed and like weeping, and it was really not pleasant. And by the time I'd kind of discovered the oils and talked to Rebecca, my son had pretty much gone through it. He'd got rid of most of it, but my daughter had got it. So I thought, right, I'm going to try oregano oil, which was what Rebecca suggested. Put a drop on her foot once a day, and literally within 3 weeks it had gone, cleared up completely, like not even a sign that she'd even ever had it. So those two things for me were kind of have been key in me just thinking, right, there's really something in this, and I want to explore it a lot more and share it with you guys on the blog. And so hence Rebecca coming in to tell you a little bit more about some of the other oils. So there's some kits that doTERRA do, and I'll let her explain about why doTERRA are kind of different from some of the other essential oil companies out there. But they do some kits where you get all the sort of essential, things like peppermint and those things that you are likely to use fairly frequently as part of a kit. But I'll let Rebecca talk a bit more about them, but I think you're going to go through each of the sort of key oils that are useful.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Vicky. That's so lovely to hear. I love it. So I've been doing using essential oils now for about 3.5 years. So I hadn't really used them before at all, actually. not even for, you know, sleep or just simple things like that. I just hadn't. They weren't part of my life. But I came across them because of my mum, and I'll just briefly tell you. So my sister's Melanie, so Mel Waite, she's my sister. So our mum told us, you know, about essential oils about 4.5 years ago, and she was telling me about these oils she'd come across that you could, you know, put one drop on and they would help with a fever, temperature, or one drop on and they would take away the headache, like Vicky said. And, you know, I have quite a scientific background. I was a science teacher, and so my mind is very much into science, and I was just, wow, just quite surprised when I first started hearing these things. But what really got me was when Mum, she was on statins and beta blockers for high blood pressure and complicated heart. She had irregular heartbeat and other things as well. And so she had to be on these severe drugs. But, you know, like with many drugs, you experience such horrible side effects, and Mum was just having a horrible time. So she really wanted to come off them, but didn't know where to turn. And luckily at that time, she met a lady who was using doTERRA's essential oils. And we will explain why doTERRA's essential oils are different to other essential oils, as Vicky said. But she started using these oils, and within weeks, she was able to come off her statins and beta blockers. So for me, that was my kind of, wow, what are these? You know, these are more than what I thought. They were just good for massage and things like that. And so like Vicky, I wanted to do my own research, and I was just astounded at all the things I was coming across. And so I purchased a kit, like Vicky said, it's kind of like a natural medicine kit that replaces most medications that most people kind of use, that kind of thing, which we'll talk about today. And I haven't looked back. Like literally for the last 3.5, almost 4 years, on my 3 children, myself and my husband, we haven't had to use any kind of antibiotics, anything at all. And everything that's come up, I've had an essential oil for. And so now I'm so passionate, as Vicky kind of said, about sharing these with other people, because I know what it was like to feel like there was not an option. You know, if my child got sick, I had to occasionally use antibiotics or Calpol or, you know, things like that, which are quite damaging to us. So essential oils, when they're in their pure form, are incredible, and they can be much more effective than medications even. And we're going to be tonight introducing the 10 kind of core oils that can be used to cover, you know, most ailments, and even some, you know, emotional ones as well as physical. So Melanie's going to start our presentation, because Melanie got into the oils seriously kind of last January, didn't you, Mel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, about a year ago. Yeah, February, March, something like that. Yeah. Yeah. And like Rebecca and Vicky, I love them. I had my personal experience that I'll talk about when we get closer to the oils that were particular for me with that. But yeah, so welcome. What is an essential oil? Before I started to look into doTERRA, because as with Vicky and Rebecca, I did my own research about the different types of essential oils that were on the market. I had no idea what an essential oil was, other than it was an oil that originated from plants and they smelt nice. So that was kind of my definition of an essential oil. But an essential oil is the plant's immune system. They're aromatic compounds, as it says on the slide, that are found in different parts of each plant. So, for example, the peppermint essential oil is found in a tiny, tiny little sac underneath the leaves, but they can be found in the roots, in the seeds, in the rind. The citrus oils are typically the essential oils in the rind. So they're from different parts of the plants, depending on the plant. doTERRA use two means of obtaining the oils, or of processing the oils: the steam distillation or cold press extraction. And they're very particular about the way that they process the oils. They're particular because they are very, very tight on not compromising the integrity or the potency of the oils. So those are the two methods that they use. Essential oils are 50 to 70 times more powerful than dried herbs. A lot of natural remedies involve herbs. These oils are much stronger than the herbs, and they, as Rebecca said, they're very powerful, and there are no side effects. Next slide, please. doTERRA gather their essential oils from plants that are all over the world. I love this slide because at a glance it shows you, just by scanning, where in the world that some of the oils that doTERRA have They have over 70 oils and oil blends. So these are just some of the oils that they gather from different parts of the world. There's a reason for why they gather them from these plants from the different areas of the world, and that has to do with the purity and the potency of the essential oil. doTERRA oils are therapeutic oils, which means that, as Rebecca said, you can substitute them for your medicine cabinet. The oils, the plants that are located in their native environment, the oils that are gathered from those plants have particular chemical constituents that do the thing that those plants were designed to do in nature. So, for example, that was a poorly structured sentence, but basically, in summary, peppermint or lavender, for example, are great for headaches. The chemical constituent that's found in both of those plants from their native environment is a lot more potent than that chemical that would be found in a lavender or peppermint plant that's grown somewhere else. You can grow lavender in, for example, Utah. There's a huge lavender farm in Utah, but the chemical constituents of that lavender plant is not the same as the chemicals found in lavender grown in Belgium or France, which is where they're native. They are natively grown there. So doTERRA is very, very tight on where they source the plants that they then extract the essential oils from. Next slide, please, assistant. Okay, and the CPTG stands for Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade Essential Oils. There isn't a governing body that oversees the essential oil industry. So doTERRA have created their own certification process, which they've named as this. And on each bottle of doTERRA oils, you'll see the CPTG stamp. The testing and the processes that go into having each bottle of their oil, each drop of their oil certified with this stamp is much more thorough and comprehensive than any other testing company or any other company that provides essential oils. Each drop of the essential oil is guaranteed to be pure, which means there are no artificial ingredients, no fragrances added, no fillers, there's no dilution. The plants are harvested having grown without any kind of pesticides or any other chemical additions in order to boost the crop or boost the health of the crop. So they are completely safe. And each drop is very, very potent. The bottles of essential oils contain between 150 and 250 drops, and each drop, typically one drop from each of these oils will service whatever condition that you need. And we'll talk a little bit more about application a bit later on, but they are very, very potent and 100% natural. doTERRA, the company, is very involved with the communities from which they harvest the crops from which they gather the essential oils. Where possible, they harvest crops from countries which are more third world, developing countries. So, for example, if there was an essential oil whose plant was growing in a third world country and then in a developed country, they would choose to harvest that, and all things being equal, they would choose to harvest that crop from the third world country. And there's a very powerful reason for doing that. They reach out to the communities and they help the communities from where who grow their crops. They work very closely with the farmers. They appreciate that the farmers are the experts of their crops, and so they consult with them and find out everything that they can about the plants and also about the people who live there, the local people that live there. And then they reach out to those communities and they help them in all sorts of ways. They help them with their schooling, they help with their communities with providing assistance with their water sources, just loads of different ways. On doTERRA.com, there's a link which talks a lot about their Healing Hands Foundation. So they're a very philanthropic they have a very philanthropic partnership with the farmers with whom they work with to gather the oils. So it's definitely not all about profit with doTERRA. The essential oils can be used in 3 ways, and this is unique to the doTERRA essential oils. Aromatically is the way that a lot of people think that essential oils can be used, and sometimes people think that's the only way they can be used. It's a very powerful way, it's a very convenient to use way, and it's a very effective way. So that's the first way that doTERRA essential oils can be used. You can put them in a diffuser, or you can simply put a drop in your hand and rub your hands together and then inhale with your cupped hands in front of your face. Or you can, as this picture shows, just lift the lid off the bottle and breathe in. So aromatically, very, very powerful way to use the essential oils. Topically is another way. Some of the oils are advised to be diluted with a carrier oil such as coconut oil. When you dilute the essential oil, it does not dilute the effectiveness of that oil. It simply enables you to spread the oil into the doTERRA oil over a larger area, and it can protect you if you have particularly sensitive skin. There are some oils that are strongly recommended to dilute, and there are other oils that you can just apply without any kind of dilution, but the efficacy of the oil is not compromised through using a carrier oil. And then the third way, internally, this is where doTERRA is quite unique. It is perfectly safe to consume most of the oils internally. There's just a couple that are advised not to. Some of the oils and the oil blends are designed not to be taken internally. Those are more of the emotional oils. It's better to use those aromatically. But for many of the oils, it's very, very effective to take them internally. And you can do that, as this picture is showing, with a glass of water, or you can put it in a small teaspoon with honey or some other peanut butter or whatever you want to use. So it's very, very safe to take internally.
Perfect. Cool. Thanks, Mel. So just going to mention something that really attracted me to the oils as well at the beginning, and what I found fascinating is the fact that essential oils are actually the immune system of the plant, which I just found was just really cool, because obviously we have our own immune system, so plants need a very strong immune system. So that's why they are so effective on us, because the plant's immune system is natural, so our body recognizes it. So unlike drugs that kind of push things in and mask things, the essential oils work with our body to help our body heal itself. And that's what's so incredible. And I just wanted to show you a diffuser, because you may not have seen the diffuser before. Let's hope it reaches. I've got my diffuser going here in the background, my volcano, my kids like to call it. You've got yours, Vicky. Amazing. Vicky's one of, you can see Vicky's is the one that comes, I think, with the kit. Is it the rat? Oh, there we go. Yeah. It's just a petal one. Can you stretch yours? Is it going to reach? But you just put cold water. Here we go. That's a better, yeah. Mine's an older one. But Vicky's one there, that's the one that we'll talk about at the end, that comes with the kind of the medicine kit that we'll talk about. But you just literally put cold water in it, and then you can add a few drops of essential oil. And aromatically as well, so it's the fastest way of getting the oils to your brain. So if you want to use oils on an emotional level, or use it for sleep, or for breathing conditions, at night time you can't breathe very well, and that's an amazing way. And also because diffusing affects an area of about 30 meters squared, you can affect the mood of your husband or your dog or your children if you have any, and in one go without them even realizing. So it's a really, really good use of the oils. And then topically is great. But yes, as Mel said, the really exciting thing about doTERRA and what makes them different to any other essential oil out there is the fact, as Mel said, is they are completely 100% pure. And this is actually why doTERRA became a company, in fact, what their mission was, because the CEO of the company, he had experienced incredible results with his daughter with frankincense. But it wasn't even a pure frankincense, but it was the only thing that had helped her seizures. She was having horrific seizures. but he couldn't find a pure essential oil. And so his mission was to get essential oils that were completely guaranteed to be 100% pure. And the reason why they can guarantee it is because they do such thorough testing, as Mel said, and they don't just do testing in doTERRA, they do third-party testing as well. So that's why we can absolutely guarantee there's nothing else in these essential oils. And typically, usually, in essential oils, they usually have about between 4% and about 25% of the actual essential oil in them. So that's why, for myself, for example, I'd experienced perhaps the odd essential oil, but when I'm speaking to people who have used essential oils, they haven't realized quite what the capabilities of essential oils are. And that's the exciting thing about doTERRA, is they're now leading the industry with these incredible essential oils that are medicinal. And that's what we're going to be covering tonight, about how you can use these literally, serious for helping replace medications. And that's what we're talking about here in a very safe way. So these essentials are very safe and they don't have side effects, unlike medication. But as Mel said, sometimes you have sensitive skin, and so we always recommend using the essential oils. First of all, when you first start using them, just use them on the bottom of your feet to begin with, just to test your own skin sensitivity. And then there's no harm at all. And I thought I brought my coconut oil down, can't find it. But doTERRA sell coconut oil that's liquid at room temperature, and just putting some carrier oil like coconut oil on first is a really good and safe way of using the essential oils. And of course, keep out of your eyes, your ears, and don't put them up your nose. If you do get them in those areas, then please don't panic, but don't use water, because water will make it worse, basically. You just need to use a carrier oil. One thing I do need to make you aware is with citrus oils, it increases your sensitivity to sunshine. So Melanie in California, we don't have to worry too much over here, but certainly Melanie doesn't want to go sunbathing with citrus oils on her. So just 12 years after application of a citrus oil.
12 hours. 12 hours.
Yes, 12 hours, yes. So what I love also about doTERRA is we're not just teaching just to put one drop of oil on and you'll be fighting fit. It's a wellness thing, and that's what got me I guess drawn to Vicky as well. I've had to watch my health, my what I eat over the last few years, because I was kind of borderline chronic fatigue, pretty severe anxiety after having my third child. And I found that gluten really affected me. So I've been on my own personal natural journey. And that's what it's about. That's what doTERRA adds to it. It's taking responsibility for your own healthcare. And so eating correctly is such a big part of this. And we really are advocates of a healthy diet. And of course, exercise and sleeping and stress management. So what I want to talk about first, because I just think this is really important before we introduce the 10 core oils, is this supplement that really has made a huge difference to me. Because yes, I did change my diet, but I was still lacking in tons of energy, and my anxiety levels were still pretty high. And I learned about these. So these are supplements that doTERRA do, and it's a whole food supplement, which is so important because it means your body can actually absorb the nutrients very quickly and utilize them. And what I've discovered is that it's so hard, isn't it, to get all the nutrients that we need from food these days. Our vegetables and fruits are pretty depleted in nutrients. So a lot of us are going around, functioning at lower levels than we should be. And usually it comes out in forms of tiredness, brain fog, aches and pains, mental health issues. And these are things we've come to kind of accept as a society, but actually our bodies are designed to thrive, and that's what this helps us to do. So I started taking these supplements, and within 2 weeks my anxiety levels had completely gone down, pretty much disappeared completely, and I was pretty severely anxious. And just another question, someone to say something? No. And then after about 6 weeks, my energy levels increased significantly, to the point where I was functioning after about 3 months as a normal person. So I was going to bed at 8 and pretty much crashing throughout the day. And after 6 weeks, I noticed a significant difference, and it just got better and better. And so I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes just talking a bit about what these 3 supplements are, because they kind of work together. But the first one here, this supplies you with all your essential minerals and vitamins. And as I said, it's a patented recipe where these nutrients are grown as a whole food, in the whole food form, which is very rare, and they're able to then be absorbed very rapidly. And we've also got the omega-3s and the omega-6s, which, if you know anything about this, are essential for inflammation in the body. And most things are caused by inflammation. But there's also many things omegas do. They help with brain functioning, of course, and cell repair. All of these things are so important in helping the body to function. And again, these are certified pure fish oils, which are also quite rare to find. And often fish oils are rancid, so you have to be very careful. But the other unique thing is these fish oils, the omega-3s and the 6s, have essential oils infused in them as well. And these are the 100% pure essential oils. And we'll be covering frankincense during our presentation, and you'll see why that is a very good one to be taking every day. But clove also is the highest antioxidant found naturally. And so that is, again, why these supplements are so effective. And then you have the third one that I fell in love with, the CRS, which is where you have all your herbs, which stimulate your mitochondrial production, which is where a lot of us, in this lifestyle we're living, and certainly as we get older, our mitochondrial levels go down quite significantly, and so we don't have that energy that we should have. So that gives your body a boost of energy. I'm just going to flick through these, but these are people that I know who have been on the Lifelong Vitality Pack and have just found it to be miraculous. You know, everyone that goes on this finds a massive difference to their health, whether it's just energy.
I love these. They're pushing it at the moment. So.
I'm just going to mute you, not to be rude, but unless you want to unmute yourself and ask a question, then please do. But I'm just going to mute you so there's no background noise. There we go. Yeah, so this lady had really bad arthritis and was on painkillers, and since taking the Lifelong Vitality Pack was able to come off that. This is a very lovely friend, Tonya. So she had severe fibromyalgia, struggling for years, and the Lifelong Vitality Pack has literally changed her life. You know, these are incredible stories. And then I'm not going to talk too much about cancer during this because it's a very sensitive topic, but obviously, you know, if people with severe conditions, you definitely need a boost, and the Lifelong Vitality Pack is there to help. But also things like depression. I've had people with severe depression have a massive difference with the Lifelong Vitality Pack, but even just, you know, a boost of energy or aches and pains and that kind of thing as well. So, you know, it is about just taking control of your body, isn't it? And taking responsibility and not accepting that mediocre health. You know, that's what I think is so exciting about the world of nutrition and natural medicine. And so the rest of the time, we're now going to focus on 10 core oils that once we're kind of doing the best we can, eating healthily, all that kind of stuff, these essential oils will then be even more effective at helping our body to heal itself. And so I'm going to pass back to Melanie to talk about these 10 oils. In fact, do you want to start, just by introducing the book? Oh, I have to unmute Melanie. There you go, you may speak.
Yeah, thank you. There's a lot of information found online about essential oils, and these three mediums are, I found, really good, really good. They're not the only places you can find the information about essential oils or doTERRA essential oils. If you Google doTERRA anything, loads of information will come up. But the two books, The Modern Essentials and The Essential Life, which my assistant Rebecca is holding up, are excellent. They've got a lot of the Modern Essentials is more scientific, and so there's quite a lot of information about the science behind the essential oils. And then there's a section which I love, which lists a load of different ailments, and then it tells you which oils address each of those ailments, and it tells you how to use those particular oils, whether you use them aromatically, topically, or internally. And the Essential Life, that has a section that is very similar to the Modern Essentials in terms of ailments and the use of oils. It's just indexed slightly differently. But they're both really, really good books. And so I highly recommend those. And then if you're more of an app person, the Modern Essentials has an app which you can download, and if on the screen here, the white field at the very top will be where you would enter your condition. So for example, if you have arthritis, you just literally type in that white field at the top, and then it'll come up with all the oils that you can use to address that issue. It also has information specific about each of the oils. So if you wanted to look up one of the oils, you could just click on one of the tabs at the bottom of the app, and it's got a ton of other information. But that's a great app to get. Yeah.
And you can get these. We'll send a follow-up email from the class. So we'll have on there the website you can go and get it from. But the books are from Essential Oil Supplies. And of course, the Modern Essentials app is just from the App Store, and it costs about £6, the app, and the books are about £24. But yeah, so you don't have to know anything about essential oils to start using them, and that's what's so lovely. They're just very easy to use.
It is very easy to use, yeah. Okay, so the first oil we're going to look at is lavender, which is one that a lot of people have used or they know about. Lavender is a very calming oil. It can be used by diffusing it, or you can use it topically, either on the actual site of irritation. It's very good to soothe any kind of rash. Rebecca's, it was lavender and frankincense you used for Sienna, wasn't it? Shall I explain that, or do you want to share that experience? Or?
Yeah, shall I briefly? So this was one of my kind of wow experiences. I'd just been getting into the oils, and Sienna, I think she was 4 at the time, she woke up with a horrible rash. I'd never seen anything like it. She'd never had rashes before. It was just huge, covering her whole body. It was fiery. She was in pain. It was midnight on a Friday night. There was no way I could even contact a doctor. It's always that way, isn't it? And she was literally screaming. And so I thought, okay, I can use an oil. I'm sure I can. So I looked it up in the book. I had a book there, and it said to use lavender and frankincense. And so I just literally, I had a spray bottle because I'd used it for other things. And I just literally put some coconut oil on there, put about 10 drops of lavender, 5 drops of frankincense, and just sprayed her body, because it literally was covered her whole body. And literally within about 5-10 minutes maximum, you saw the fire come out of the rash. Everything was kind of calming down. She was calming down, and she fell asleep. And by the morning, it had completely gone. And I don't know what that rash was still to this day. You start Googling rashes and you can freak yourself out, can't you? So we didn't really Google it. But it had gone and it never came back, and everything was good. So that was a moment for me as a mum when I was just like, what have I got in my home? I was just so, I guess, so grateful to have these incredible oils in my home that I could just use for anything. Yeah, it was just cool.
Yeah, and my mother-in-law uses it a lot on her pillow to help her to have a deeper sleep. And then I have a very powerful personal experience with lavender, lemon, and peppermint, which combined together are a very strong antihistamine. I have a very strong allergic reaction to cats. And about a year ago, Rebecca and I were going to do a doTERRA class. I was kind of shadowing Rebecca and learning a bit about the oils, didn't know hardly anything. And we went to this lady's house who neither of us had ever personally met before. And I didn't take my inhaler with me, which is very unlike me, because when I go to somebody's home and I don't know whether they have a cat or not, I always take it with me. But for some reason I didn't. We got there, and the first thing I saw was this gorgeous cat sitting on the armchair in the lounge, and my heart sunk, because I know how my body reacts, and it's not comfortable. It's really not a nice reaction that my body has. So Rebecca went and got a little glass of water, sort of a shot amount of water in the glass, and added 2 drops of lavender, lemon, and peppermint. I've since found out that I only need 1 drop of each, but I was panicking a bit, so I put 2 drops of each in the glass of water, and then I drank it. And I also applied another oil that we're going to talk about a little bit later to the bridge of my nose. This oil is called Breathe. It's a very powerful oil for any kind of asthma related conditions. So I applied it to the bridge of my nose and then under here a little bit, just so I could breathe it in. And we were in this house, in this lady's house, doing the class for about 3 hours. It was quite a long class. There were lots of people that had questions afterwards, and I had no allergic reaction at all. And that's a first for me, an absolute first. I was literally blown away. So I'm a fan of lavender for many reasons.
And so the antihistamine blend that Melanie talked about is also good for hay fever and any kind of allergies, like any allergies at all. It's really good. And you can put it on topically or internally. So yeah, lavender is just good for anything calming, isn't it? Like anything, like stings, emotional as well, just to kind of calm you down. It's good for calming children down as well. Okay.
Lemon. Lemon is an excellent cleanser, very good cleanser. I use it now to clean with. I've, like Vicky and Rebecca, and many other people, I've been trying to substitute or take away all of my chemicals in my home and substitute them with the essential oils or with natural alternatives. So I use lemon as my go-to cleaner now, for everywhere. I have one spray bottle, actually 2. I have one filled with lemon and water and one with lemon and white vinegar. And depending on what I'm cleaning, I'll use either of those. And so yeah, it's a great cleanser. It's also good to, when you have colds, to mix with honey and make a tea to soothe your throat. It's great to cleanse and neutralize odors. It's a very uplifting oil. I use it every morning to kind of just get me going a bit, just kind of breathe in a little bit. And I also use it mixed with peppermint as a mouthwash. So that's how I use lemon. It can be used topically, aromatically, or internally. It's a wonderful oil.
Yeah, it's one of those oils, because it is such a great cleansing, and not just obviously for cleaning your kitchen surfaces, because it's antiseptic and antimicrobial, but also taking it every day. People take a slice of lemon, don't they, in their water, and it's a great way to start the day because it helps to get the toxins out of your body. And unfortunately, as we try to do our best, and when we're living in this world, we're going to be breathing in toxins constantly, really, and our body's going to have them in us. And what our body kind of does is it surrounds these toxins by layers of fat, which is even worse, because then this fat gets kind of stored in our body as well, and it just holds on to these toxins. But what lemon does is it actually breaks down these toxins and then releases the fat and transports these toxins safely out of the body, and then also allows your body to then get rid of the fat as well. So it's also a gentle weight loss, which is also quite a good bonus. But it's because it's not acidic either, and like, a slice of lemon is acidic, so that can affect your teeth. It's not going to affect your teeth, the lemon essential oil, and it's just very easy just to put 1 drop in the morning, and really and energizes and uplifts you at the same time. So it's something I do on a daily basis.
Peppermint, my second favorite oil. Lemon, lavender, peppermint. So peppermint is a very cooling oil. It's fantastic to bring down fevers. If you have access to sampling doTERRA peppermint oil, and you rub a little bit in your hand and then inhale it and then rub it on the back of your neck, you will feel after literally a couple of seconds the area where you've rubbed it on the back of your neck, that your temperature it'll have a cooling sensation. So it's great when children have fevers. You can use that instead of chemical medication. It's great, as I said on the last slide, to use as a mouthwash along with lemon, or just by itself. It opens up your respiratory tract. So if you can breathe it in either by your diffuser or put it in your hands and just breathe in, it'll open up your lungs, open up your airways. If you're feeling sluggish in the afternoon and you need a little pick-me-up, you can breathe it in there. It's great to kind of get you alert again. You can use it as in a spray bottle to cool yourself down on one of those hot, balmy English summer days. It's got multiple uses. It's also, I use it. We have occasionally we have ants come into our home, and so I put a couple of drops on a cotton wool ball and then put that on the floor where I think the ants are, and it's great to repel ants rather than having a chemical ant trap thing.
Also really good for headaches. That's just one last.
Oh, headaches! Thanks. Yeah. Of course, because it opens up. It's a vasodilator, so it opens up your the area which is feeling really, really tight. You literally just rub it onto that area, and it's really good for headaches. Sometimes people find that lavender and peppermint together are effective for headaches. Other times, people find that peppermint is very effective, and that's actually an important point to note, that because all of our bodies, we definitely have common chemical compounds in our bodies, but we're also individuals. We're very different, and so some of these oils work more effectively on one person than they will on another. So sometimes it's worth investigating if you have a sample of an oil and it doesn't really give you the results that you were expecting, to go back to the person who gave you the sample or go to the app and have a look and see what other oils are appropriate for that particular condition, and then try those, because it could be that a different combination of oils will work better for you than your friend who told you about a particular oil that was effective for them. Okay, this is a diagram of a cell, and inside the cell there's the virus. Outside you've got the bacteria. Now, this is one of the reasons why essential oils are so effective at killing bacteria and also restoring health after you've had a viral infection. The membrane of the cell the outer membrane is a fatty membrane. This means that when your doctor gives you an antibiotic as a form of medication, you take the antibiotic, and as long as the infection resides outside of the cell, such as bacteria always reside outside the cell, that antibacteria that your doctor gave you can kill the bacteria. When you go to a doctor with a viral infection, there isn't a lot, well, there's nothing actually that the doctor can give you. They can tell you to go home, to have lots of rest, drink lots of water, let your body kind of repair itself over time, but there's nothing that you can take. The essential oil is one of the things that you can, or the primary thing that you can take that can really address those viral infections that are inside the cell. Because the doTERRA essential oils are fatty, are oils, which means they're fat, they can penetrate that outer membrane of the cell and go in and obliterate the virus that's inside the cell. And one drop of the doTERRA oil, I used to laugh when someone told me, prior to getting into doTERRA, I laughed that one drop could be so effective, but having experienced it really can. One drop can kill the virus. If the virus has taken hold and you're feeling really bad, by taking one drop every 2 hours, and we'll talk a little bit about why that's the time period in a minute or two, then that can destroy the virus inside the cell, and then the bacterial oils such as lemon can destroy the bacteria outside the cell. So that's one of the outstanding things about the doTERRA essential oils and health. Okay, this is another oil which is it's a blend of oils, and it's great for all things cleansing. Where I spoke in the part in a few slides ago about the lemon, this is also a really, really good cleanser. You can use it anywhere in the house. It can be used on tile. It can be used on aluminium. What's the word? The chrome. I couldn't think of the word. Chrome surfaces. It can be used on plastics. It can be used everywhere. It's because it's a great cleanser. It's also really great cleanser for your house. It's also a great cleanser for yourself. So it can be taken either internally, it can be taken aromatically or topically on children and adults, and it can help your body's immune system to maximize itself. So lots of people take a drop or two of On Guard every day to maintain a healthy immune system. Other people take it when the kind of cold season is approaching, to give their body a natural boost. I'm based in America. I come over to England quite frequently. I tend to take it about 10 days before I fly, just because I have the view that all those people are in an aeroplane and I don't want to be breathing anybody else's germs, and which I will be because I'm in the aeroplane, but I want my body to be at its height of defending my body against any kind of infection. So when you take it internally, you can put it in a little gelatin capsule, which is the last point. Some people like that because they then don't taste it. The taste is fine for me. So yeah, it's got many protective uses.
Sorry, I haven't interrupted you. Just wanted to say the oils that are in it. So the oils, they've chosen the ones that are very effective against microbes. So that's what the blends are about. doTERRA basically want to make these oils as easy as possible for us to use. And most people who start using these essential oils haven't ever used essential oils. So that's why they put together these blends, so we don't have to do it ourselves. And so in On Guard, for example, you've got cinnamon, you've got clove, you've got wild orange, you've got eucalyptus. And these are all great at fighting viruses and bacteria, which is why they're so effective at helping to boost your immune system. But because it contains clove as well, it's also really good for teeth hygiene. So I had a really severe abscess, again, pretty much the very beginning of my essential oil experiences. And it was so painful. And the dentist gave me some antibiotics, which I was ready to take because I was in a lot of pain. But I thought I'd give the On Guard a go because that's the one I looked up. And so I just literally put a drop on my finger and rubbed it into my gum. And I did this every 4 hours. I kind of treat it like an antibiotic, so every 4 hours. And after 3 days, my abscess had completely gone. And so that, for me, was just incredible. So this is one of my favorites, to be honest. And, especially if you have children, then, they're always bringing viruses into the home. And if anyone gets sick, I just put some drops in the diffuser as well to help the rest of us to not come down with it. So it's one of my favourite ones, most used in our house. Yeah. Do you use it a lot?
Yeah, I use it a lot. Yeah, we've obviously been trying not to get bugs before we went to New Zealand, so we used it a lot. I diffused it before we went for the same reason as you, Mel, because I didn't want to pick up other bugs and people on the aeroplane and stuff. But yeah, I haven't had anything all winter, touch wood.
Amazing. No, it does. It really works. It's a really good preventative. And also if you catch it quite early on, so if you have a cold quite early on, it will get rid of it. If not, you might have to upgrade to these oils that Mel will now talk about. Yeah. So Melaleuca is a great antifungal. It's really good for the skin and also for the hair. I put a couple of drops every once or twice, I was going to say once or twice a week, but that's not true. Every maybe third or fourth wash of my hair, I'll put a drop into my shampoo just to give an added cleanse for my hair in case any of the products that I use on my hair have built up. So it's really good for that. A couple of weeks ago, my body still gives me pimples every now and again. Thought I was gone with that after I finished being a teenager, but and I literally just tipped the bottle upside down and dabbed a drop on the area that I needed to go, or I wanted it to go, and it did its job. It's a good antifungal to use on toenails or on fingernails, and as a protection against public swimming areas. So if people walk around without flip-flops or whatever to prevent the viral infection of warts and what do you call verrucas? Yeah, I just went. Mm-hmm. Oregano is a very powerful. It's the nature's most powerful antioxidant and antifungal. No, not antioxidant. Is it, Bex? That was the clove. The antifungal. It's extremely strong, and it's if you've used Melaleuca, for example, on your toenail fungus, and it's not really addressing the issue. Perhaps you've had toenail fungus for a lot longer, and it's really taken root. Then oregano is a good oil to use
after you've tried the Melaleuca. Because oregano is so strong, it's very strongly advised to not use for longer than 10 days in succession. You can use it for 10 days and then have a break of approximately a week and then start again because of the strength of this oil. It's also highly recommended to dilute this oil because of its strength. So you would, if you're applying it topically, you would put a little bit of carrier oil on that site that you're then going to add the oregano oil to. Or you could buy a rollerball bottle and put some liquid coconut oil or other carrier oil in it, and then put the oregano oils in there, drop several drops in the rollerball, and then just literally apply that topically. It's safe to use for all ages, or from children all the way up to elderly people, and it's great for colds that have taken root. This is one of my favorite oils to take when I've got a cold that I haven't caught in time with the On Guard. My colds tend to go to my chest, and then I have a build-up of catarrh in my chest. By gargling with oregano and then swallowing, it releases that build-up of phlegm and gets rid of it really quickly. In fact, now whenever I have a cold, which isn't very often because I tend to use the On Guard a lot, but sometimes I get a bit lackadaisical with that, and I haven't. And I've had a cold kind of taken hold of me. I've used oregano the last 2 times I've had colds, and it hasn't gone to my chest. And so I have a nice, strong association with oregano because of that. It's very, very powerful, very effective.
And just I was going to say, just when you're using it with children, especially, just use it on the bottom of the feet. Like this is one that Vicky said that she used for the molluscum. So it is highly antiviral. It's antimicrobial. It's nature's strongest antibiotic. But as Mel said, it's very powerful. So just with children, you don't want to put them off oils.
And while you're saying that, Bex, just as a little word to let you know, anyone know who's going to take this internally, it does taste disgusting, but it is so effective. So you might want to put it in a gelatin capsule, as it says here in the first point. I don't bother, but it's a brilliant oil, this one. Yeah.
Did you want to say something, Vicky?
Well, I was going to say we're actually, like I say, it worked amazingly for us. But I'm also using it at the moment because my youngest has got the start of a chest infection, so the doctor wanted to give him antibiotics today, and I was like, no thanks. So I've just started the oregano on him today, so fingers crossed that's gonna kick it on the head before the end of the week, and the doctor tells me I have to give him the antibiotics, but hopefully not.
Amazing. I'd also put On Guard and Breathe in the diffuser, Vicky.
Oh, that's the Breathe is on all the time overnight. It's got really bad like chest asthma and stuff, and that's up until this one. That's worked perfectly.
Okay.
But this must be a particularly bad bug because it's got a bit further than
Okay. Yeah. So then maybe add some On Guard in the diffuser, and I would put Breathe and frankincense on his chest. I don't know if you're doing that. Actually,
yes,
put it okay.
Yes, frankincense I'll put on. Yeah.
Amazing, Vicky. Perfect. So fingers crossed then. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yes. So Deep Blue is another blend, obviously. This is a very popular blend. It actually smells quite medicinal, and if you've ever used Deep Heat, then this is, similar in smell, but pure. So Deep Heat is full of chemicals, and Deep Blue is just much more effective. But it's very popular, so actually has been made into a rub as well. So it's put with an aloe vera gel. We were talking about aloe vera with Belinda earlier. But there's the oil. That's not the oil. I got the wrong one. But the oil here. Now, as you see on the picture, and you can see it here, it's got a completely different lid. Well, not completely different, but you can see there's quite a difference there with the lid. And it's because this is the one oil in this kit that we're talking about tonight that you cannot take internally. So that's an important thing to say. And the reason being is because it contains an oil called wintergreen, which is very, very good for inflammation. But it's also good at blood thinning your blood, so we don't want to take it internally at all. So that's just something that doTERRA just put a real safety barrier there. But also if you're on taking lots of aspirin or warfarin especially, then you need to be careful even applying it topically. So you could still use it, but just not all the time. So just be aware of that. But this then, as it says, it's muscle and joint pain. So this is the way to win men over if they're not into oils. So I got Nathan, my husband, to believe in essential oils because of this blend. So he wasn't really into oils when I first bought my kit home, really excited. He was like, what have you just done? But after a football injury, and he had a really bad ankle pain, he twisted his ankle really badly, I put some Deep Blue essential oil on, and he pretty much immediately felt the difference. He was like, oh, these actually work. So that was a turning point for my husband. So any kind of pain, whether it's back pain, joint pain, arthritic pain, what else, even like deep cramping. So I woke up one night with severe cramping pain, I think due to digestion, something was going on, and I couldn't sleep. So it woken me up and I couldn't sleep. And I literally put a couple of drops of the Deep Blue oil on my stomach. And again, within 5 minutes max, the pain had completely gone. So also, my daughter, I use it for growing pains. So she occasionally has growing pains and she'll wake up in pain. And I'll generally use the rub more now because I've got this as well. But when I had the oil, I would just put some coconut oil on first and then 1 to 2 drops of the oil on top. And again, that would soothe her and enable her to go back to sleep. So
I have a
oh yes, go on, Mel. Sorry, yeah.
I have a couple of clients who use this on severe headaches. They find it's really effective for their headaches.
Brilliant. Yes, absolutely. Like Mel said earlier, to begin with, when you first start using the oils, most of the oils will help you, like they say in the book. But sometimes, say for a headache, you'll try the peppermint and it might not do what it does with Vicky, for example. So you'd have to upgrade and perhaps try the Deep Blue oil. So this is another oil that you can use for headaches. And this is more for severe headaches, people that I've, would you say? Sometimes you can migraines.
Yes.
So that's another option, but yeah, brilliant. Okay, so Breathe, you've heard that being mentioned a couple of times. This is another one of my favourite oils. So I'd say On Guard and Breathe, really, and one more I'm going to introduce in a second. But obviously a blend, it's a respiratory blend. So trying to make it really easy by calling it Breathe, so you know what to do with it. So basically anything to do with respiratory. So if you've got a chesty cough even, or especially if you've got a cold and you're bunged up and you can't breathe at night time, that's when it's the worst, or your child or husband, whatever, can't breathe, or someone's snoring. It's going to help with that because it helps to open the airways. So a really lovely way of using it is in the diffuser. That's a really great way because you're breathing it in constantly. But you can also put it on your chest. So typically you wouldn't take this one internally. It's not that you couldn't, like the Deep Blue one, but there's no point. So it's literally topical or aromatic. So if you're putting it on topically, I would suggest using a carrier oil because it's got peppermint in and that can be, it's quite strong. So I have a really great story. So I'll just tell you really quickly. A friend who I've come to know through the oil, she was searching for natural solutions for asthma because her little boy had been pretty much born almost with asthma. He'd had severe asthma since he was 1. He was now about 2 and a little bit, and he was on maximum steroids and still having attacks once a week where they'd have to go to the hospital at night time and drag the sister along as well, because they were really quite life-threatening attacks. And she was desperate to get him off the steroids, and she came across doTERRA. So she bought some oils after attending one of these classes and started using Breathe and frankincense on the chest and back with some carrier oil morning and evening. After 1 week of doing this, the attacks completely stopped. And after 3 months, I think it was, she went to see the doctor and he had a look at his chest and everything, and he was amazed and said that something's happening. His lungs are starting to heal. And so he told her to carry on using the Breathe because she told him what she was doing. And it was about 4 months after that she phoned me in tears saying that the doctor had said she could come off the steroids, take her boy off the steroids. He was able to start preschool And literally that has completely changed their life. And it's just amazing what these oils can do. So yes, they're there to help with symptoms, but also they don't just treat symptoms. That's what's so wonderful. They actually go into the cause, you know, the root cause of the problem. And like we said before, they work with the body to help the body heal. And it's just amazing. And we've seen this with quite a few cases of asthma now, but also sinus conditions. So if anyone has sinusitis, this is the one to use as well, and to help with any kind of chest infection. So if you just think of respiratory, this is the one to use. And Mel said she used it with her, you know, allergy as well. So, because she gets tight chested. So also actually just briefly, good for anxiety. So all of these oils have an emotional level as well, which of course makes sense because the body's all interconnected. So Breathe helps open up everything and helps with anxiety. So this is the third one. This is my third favorite one. So the Zengest. Digestion. Okay, so this is going to help with all types of digestive issues. So certainly if you suffer from allergies, which you probably do, or you'll know someone because that's why you're on Vicky's blog, but you have some kind of digestive issues, some kind of allergy perhaps, this one's really good to help support that. You know, it's not going to suddenly enable you to eat tons of wheat or anything, but if you were to eat something and it didn't agree with you and you have that horrible pain, that cramping, whatever it is, bloating, soreness, you know, some reactions are very severe, Zengest will really, really help. So you can put 1 to 2 drops on your stomach area or take a drop in some water. I tend to, you know, like as Mel said, use a shot amount, just that, like a little amount, and just drink it. But you can, you know, fill up a whole glass and put 1 drop in. Depends if you like the taste, really. So lemon, I tend to put 1 drop in a whole glass because I love the taste. Whereas the other ones, I use it more medicinally. So just a little bit of water. But it will really help to calm everything down. And so it's even good for things like IBS. If you know, suffer from anything like that, it's found to really help IBS taken on a daily basis, obviously. But even sickness bugs, acid reflux, heartburn, food poisoning, you know, anything at all to do with the digestive system, and motion sickness, as it says up here. So it's my one of my favorites because it helps with so many things. And constipation and diarrhea, you know, so anything, it just helps to bring your digestive system back into balance. And this one is a very fast acting one. So within about 10 minutes, you should expect to feel relief. So it's a good one. Don't anyone want to say anything about that?
No, I've used this one a few times. I tend to, when I travel, I used to, I used to, whenever I traveled, I would get a bit constipated, usually for 3 or 4 days. And so I use Zengest, Digestin. It's the same product. It's called Digestin in America, Zengest in England, and it was really, really effective. Now I take that Lifelong Vitality Pack, which is the pack that the nutrition supplement that Rebecca talked about at the beginning of our presentation, and I don't have that same issue now when I travel, which is quite phenomenal to me. But I still pack this in my bag just in case.
I didn't know that. That's amazing, Mel, because you've always had that problem.
Yes. A little bit of information there about me. I want to just backtrack slightly also with the On Guard, because I know we spoke about On Guard earlier, and I know Nigel wanted to cover cleaning. So we spoke about using lemon as a cleaner. I also and I use a Melaleuca as well. So I do a spray with lemon and Melaleuca, because Melaleuca is also very antiseptic. So I clean my kitchen surfaces just with 10 drops of lemon and 5 drops of Melaleuca in a big spray bottle filled with water. So it's really affordable, and you're breathing in pure oils that are helping your body to heal, you know, and energizing you rather than toxins. And then doTERRA also do an On Guard range. So we talked about the On Guard essential oil, which again I make up my bathroom cleaner using that and vinegar and Castile soap, which I just got online. So again, really, you know, affordable, and again just natural. But doTERRA also do natural. You can buy the On Guard soap, you can buy On Guard detergent, the cleaning kind of concentrate that I use to clean my floors. So if you don't want to make your own, doTERRA have like natural cleaning things as well, all to do with the On Guard.
Okay, so the last essential oil we're going to talk about, the 10th oil, is frankincense. This oil is an incredible essential oil. It's been kind of nicknamed the king of oils, and that's because of what it can do. So Mel spoke about the chemistry of oils earlier. Frankincense basically has such a wide chemistry that can help with so many things. Now also, when used in conjunction with any other essential oil, it will enhance the benefits up to 10 times. So like with my daughter who had that severe rash, we added in frankincense to just absolutely make sure lavender was going to be the most effective it could be. So for anything serious, so say like with Vicky with her son, I'm suggesting frankincense, but she's already doing, so that's great. Just enhances the effects of the breathe. So if anything's serious, you want to add in some frankincense. Now what frankincense also does is it's a beautifying oil as well. So superficially it really helps to limit wrinkles, and helps to reduce pore sizes and tightens the skin as well. So it's great for anti-aging. It's also good for scarring. So lavender's good for kind of fresh new scars and cuts and things, but frankincense is more for the more severe kind of cuts or scars that have perhaps been there a longer time. It's really good. It's also one of the few things, both medicinally and naturally, that can actually cross the barrier between your blood and the brain. So it can actually go through into your brain because of the chemicals which are in frankincense. It's able to easily pass that barrier, and it can therefore go into your cells in your brain and help with brain functioning. And this is what is so significant with frankincense, because there's not many things that can do that. And so anything brain related, frankincense is going to help with. So whether it's just to kind of clear that brain fog that we often get, it's really effective for that. But more severe things to do with brain functioning, such as Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, seizures, anything like that, frankincense can make a significant difference with that. And there's also a lot of research showing how frankincense can help with cancer. And so I'm not obviously going to make any claims with that, but if that is something that interests you, then please go and do your research. There is so much research now showing that frankincense targets cancer cells and tries to reverse it, but if it doesn't do that, then it will kill the cancer cells by apoptosis, which is cell suicide. And so please do go and do your own research into that. But it's also very good with mental health as well, again, because it can pass that blood-brain barrier. So it's good to help calm and generally used for more severe mental health states, such as more severe depression and, other things as well to do with the brain. So as it says here, when in doubt, use frankincense. It's an incredible oil. It's just wonderful. So I'm just going to explain now just briefly how you can purchase some oils if you'd like to. These essential oils, you can purchase them singly. They all range completely in their prices because, as Mel explained, these essential oils are the 100% oil. So lemon, for example, needs about 45 lemons to make 1 bottle of the lemon essential oil. And because lemon's so readily available, it's easy to get. And so the lemon essential oil bottle on its own is about £8 for a 15ml bottle. Whereas frankincense, if you know anything about where that comes from, they're from these trees that grow on the edge of cliffs, and you need tons of the resin, and the farmers, they leave their homes for 3 months to collect the resin from these frankincense trees, and you need like a room full of resin, and then it's sorted through, and most of it's discarded because it's not the pure frankincense that's needed. And so for a 15ml bottle of frankincense, it's about £76 for the bottle. So, when you're buying a pure essential, this is why doTERRA's oils are so different to the ones you're going to find in Holland and Barrett, obviously, and I'm not going to mention any of the names, but it's a very different product. And so you really are getting the quality essential oils. And as we said, you only need to use 1 drop of this because it is completely pure. So other oils, you need to use 6 and 7 drops and you still won't get the medicinal benefits. With these essential oils, they last a long, long time because you only need 1 drop at a time. And they last forever as well. So, the citrus oils, they'll last 5 years, but all the other essential oils, will outlive you. So you can pass them down in your will if they last that long, but they probably won't. So they really are very cost effective. So basically, doTERRA want to make them as affordable as possible for people. So what they do is they offer you a chance to get your own wholesale membership rather than buying it retail, which is full cost. So that's much more expensive. doTERRA offer you the opportunity to get your own membership, which works a bit like a Costco card, if you've ever had that. So you pay for your membership, which is £24, and then you get to purchase all the essential oils at 25% off, which is the wholesale cost, which is what we get them for. So it makes them a lot more affordable. So you can do that and buy single oils. But what they do, again, to make it affordable for people when you're first starting, is they've put together these kind of starter kits, which is your natural kind of medicine kit, which contains these 10 core oils that we've been talking about tonight, all in this kit. And you get to save a lot of money by purchasing it all together. And this price includes the membership as well. So you don't pay for the membership on top of this. Now this one here, this kit here is a 5 ml kit. So what I mean by that is all of the bottles, apart from the one at the end, which I'll mention in a second, are 5 ml. So this is a 15 ml bottle next to it, and I'll explain. The next kit is the 15 ml bottle. So the 5 ml bottles have about 80 drops of the essential oil. Now, so this kit is £115.20 for this 10 core oils that we spoke about, and they're 5 ml bottles. You also get a Smart and Sassy with this one that just comes along for free, and that's the metabolic blend. It's also a very energizing blend as well, and that's a 15 ml bottle. Now, by far the most cost effective is the Home Essentials kit, because it's the same 10 core oils, but it's going to last you a lot longer, so it's going to end up saving you a lot more money. And it's because you get the 15 ml bottles, including the frankincense, which comes with it for free. So the frankincense comes in the kit as well. And so these bottles have 240 drops of essential oil in, as opposed to the 80 drops. So they will last a lot longer. And you also get a diffuser with this one as well. And it includes the membership. So it's a really good way to start. And like you've kind of seen, it's where most people's ailments will be covered as well. And even if you don't have, if you think I don't, have ailments for all those things, oh yeah, there's the diffuser, you will use them. You will. Like I apart from anxiety and energy, I didn't really feel like I needed all the oils, but gosh, you realise how much you use them. I don't know what I would do now without them. But yeah, thanks for the display of the diffuser, Vicky. Now, for those of you that might be interested in the Lifelong Vitality Pack, this is the third option, and also there's a couple of On Guard products in here. So in terms, I said there was a cleaning range that doTERRA do already for you. So it comes with the soap and a dispenser, which is it's just a lovely natural soap, because again, we have to be careful what soaps we're using on our hands, of course. And then it's an On Guard toothpaste, because of course toothpaste are terrible for us. And then it comes with the On Guard soft gels, which are basically the On Guard essential oil in a capsule with some other oils such as oregano. So it's kind of the flu bomb, we've nicknamed it. So it's really good to take as in replacement of an antibiotic. But in this kit, you get the 10 core oils, the 5 ml bottles, and you get the Lifelong Vitality Pack, and you get those other bits as well. So that's a really good price, because the Lifelong Vitality Pack on its own is £70 for a month's supply, which for the quality of supplement it is unmatched. You won't find for that kind of quality. So that's the third kit. I think that's the end. There we go, yeah, that's the end. So basically, we'll take any questions now as well, if you have any questions. But if you do want to purchase anything, then, Vicky will be sending an email to you guys, and it'll have an enrollment form on there, which you can fill out online. But also, if you have any questions that you want to ask first, then please ask any questions. But you send your initial order back to Vicky, and then she'll process your first order. And then you'll have your own personal doTERRA account, which you can then order as and when you want to at 25% off. So you just replace your oils. There are other wonderful oils that doTERRA do that you'll want to kind of get to know. And, what you get as part of your membership as well is a personal one-on-one wellness consultation to make sure that, you know, any questions you have will be addressed, and to make sure you're confident to start using your oils, and your account, just make sure you know how to access all of that stuff. So you're given a lot of support, and there's a Facebook group that we add you to. You can post questions, and we do continued education classes as well. Once you have your own account, you can come and learn more about the essential oils. It's kind of a life journey thing, I see it as. There's always lots to learn. But yeah, any questions, anything you wanted to add, Vicky or Mel, to anything like that?
I mentioned, and I didn't come back to it, so I apologise for that, the time in associated with the application or with the use of the oils. So as a point of interest, which you may or may not know this, but when you use the oils either in any of the three ways, aromatically, internally or topically, they take between 20 and 30 seconds to be absorbed into your body. So if you put a drop of oil on your child's feet, then don't put their socks on for about 30 seconds, because then by that time the oil will be absorbed into their body. And then it takes about 30 minutes to travel around their body. And then the efficacy of that oil lasts for about 2 hours. So if they have a fever, for example, and you're using the peppermint to bring down the fever, and perhaps oregano as well, you would reapply that after 2 hours, 2.5 hours, something like that. So that's just a point of to note.
Mm-hmm.